I have some great news for you, and it's amazing that more people don't know about this, that there is a hidden source to most of our problems, and that hidden source relates to us not being fully ourselves, that we learn to cut off from certain feelings and expressions and parts of us from early childhood in order to fit in. But that when we learn to be more ourselves again, to feel these feelings again, the problems start to resolve naturally. And this is a fantastic news and absolutely revolutionary too. The idea that our problems can be resolved just by being more ourselves. And yes, it's true that our problems can be resolved just by being more ourselves. Hello everyone, I'm Gaia Pollini and welcome to this Fuck It Be You video seminar series. We even have a seminar setting here. You probably know me and us through something to do with Fuck It. I and John started the whole Fuck It thing 15 years ago, and we are behind the best-selling Fuck It books. I've been a therapist for 20 years, working with groups on retreats, as well as with regular one-to-one clients. And over the last few years, I've been developing this Fuck It Be You work based on my experience and training, in particular training with the latest cutting-edge therapy in developmental trauma in a model called the Neuroaffective Relational Model, which I studied with the founder, Dr. Larry Heller. And this Fuck It Be You work really is revolutionary. That there can be a way to go to the source of our problems. So let's start there. Our problems. Think of the various problems in your life once you're facing or you've faced. The things that worry you, that maybe even keep you up at night. It might be problems at work or in your relationships or with money or with your health or with how you see yourself and your life, with your self-esteem. Most people have problems. That's life, isn't it? But now imagine that you suddenly discovered a common source to these problems, something you've never seen before, something that affected how you are at work and in your relationships and in your attitude to money, and that affects your very health and how you see yourself and your life. It's a little bit like being at home and not knowing so well about how things work in the home, and finding that your table lamp is not working and thinking you'll have to get it fixed, and then turning on the kettle and that's not working and thinking you'll have to get that one fixed too, and then trying to turn on the oven to cook something and finding that that's not working and you can't believe it, another thing to fix, and that all these different things in your house are not working all of a sudden, and that you got a lot of fixing to do. But of course, the problem is that it's the electricity that's not working. That's the common source of the problems. And if you don't know so well about how things in the home work, it's the hidden source to those problems. Well, the truth is that most of us don't see that it is the same in our lives. We think that all the different problems we face at work, in our relationships, with money, with health, with self-esteem, they're separate problems that we have to deal with individually. But there is a common source to most of these problems too. And to most of us, it is a hidden source to most of these problems. And the great news is that once you discover this, you can deal with many problems in one go. Just like the house where you simply had to go and work out what had happened to the electricity source rather than taking all the appliances to be repaired. So, what is this hidden source then to our challenges and difficulties? This is going to sound strange, but it's how you, at some point in your life, usually when you were young, weren't allowed to be you. And it happened to us all. You had a full-on need to be you, yourself, to express yourself, or to say no to something you didn't want, or to be fully heard when you asked for something, or to be held and accepted as you, just as you were, and to be loved unconditionally, not for behaving in a certain way. But your need wasn't fulfilled, so you weren't able to be fully yourself, and you had to adapt. You had to learn to behave in a different way to get what you needed, which was usually love and approval and a sense of safety and connection. We all need that. And the different ways in which we adapted are called adaptive mechanisms in this area of psychology. And there are 5 adaptive mechanisms as defined by the NARM model. And I'll give you just one of them as an example now. This type of adaptive behavior is typified by people pleasing. Yes, you may be a people pleaser, or you may be one of the other 4 ways of being an adapted you. And you may think that that's you, that's part of you. But it's not. It's an adapted you. And it's part of the source of the problem you're facing. Just with the people pleaser, you can see how it leads to so many problems. At work, rather than saying what you want and how you like to do things and what suits you, you're constantly trying to work out what other people want from you, what will make them, not you, happy. And you're thus unable to say no to others and make things work for you. You live life bending over backwards for others, and it causes so many problems because what you want and need have been forgotten and trampled on. Just understanding this can help. The solution then is to move from this adapted you to the real you underneath, to discover what you really feel and what you really want and how you really are, and be more connected to all that. And it takes a lot of fuck it's, including saying no to people you'd normally want to please. There's so much to explore about how this works and about yourself, and to reconnect to your own feelings again. But the idea is simple. The answer to your problems is to be more you, to be more fully yourself. This is such a big idea that I'll say again. The answer to your problems is to be more you. Wow, imagine that you could solve problems at work and in your relationships and with money, even with health, by being more yourself. It's a big wow, isn't it? Now you may be wondering how to find out what your hidden source is. Well, in the next video, I am going to be talking about the first step to working this out. You will be able to get a sense for what your hidden source is, which type of adapted you are, and thus you can start to open to being more you, more the real you. By the way, please do leave a comment on this page. I would love to hear what you think of this idea of being more you. I just can't wait to see you in the next video.